station of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It may be a chilly night in the Motor City, but David Price remains red hot. Price through 3 starts as a Tiger this year is 1-0 with an 0.40 ERA. And here at the ballpark, believe it or not, it is snowing tonight. But that's okay. We have Tigers baseball nonetheless as we welcome you to Comerica Park. Game 3 in the series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Ron Allen. Glad to have you with us. Bring your snowshoes tonight, Ron?
I did not. I didn't get that memo.
You might need them. David Price doesn't need any help these days, though. He's been absolutely outstanding.
Lights out. The best left-hander in the game, at least one of the best left-handers in the game for me. Clayton Kershaw, of course, in Hollywood is pretty good. But in the American League, David Price takes a backseat to no one.
Here's the fascinating thing about Price. A fastball 95-96, yet his command with that fastball is outstanding.
You know, I talked to Alex Avila, who will be catching David Price here tonight. He said of all the guys that he's caught since coming to the big leagues, no one has the kind of fastball command that David Price has. He has a little hesitation in his delivery, whether he's winding up or in the stretch, and he just throws to the glove. 94 to 97 miles an hour, and he will throw about 65% fastballs here tonight against this New York Yankees team. He is outstanding with his command, and he also has a few other pitches to go along with that heater. That would be the newfound curveball. He's got a slider, a cutter, a sinker, and an outstanding, a legitimate swing and miss changeup.
All right, put another log on the fire. We have baseball for you tonight after a short break. We'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Justin White. And coming up in this one here tonight, Nick Castellanos. He's been red hot. A career-high 9-game hitting streak in progress. Stay with us. Tigers Yanks next. Price will make the start tonight. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And David Price making his 4th start of the 2015 season. And 2 of the 3 starts he's made, he's gone at least 8 innings. He's got a fastball that will get up to 95. Expect a lot of fastballs tonight from David Price. It's very cold out there. He might have a difficult time with his curveball.
Here is the lineup he'll face tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Ellsbury, Young, and Rodriguez, the top 3 last night. Chris Young, big night. Teixeira, McCann, Beltran in the middle. Headley, Petit, and Gregorius rounding out their lineup. And we are ready for baseball here tonight on a very chilly evening here in the Motor City. David Price goes to work. Jacoby Ellsbury stands in. And here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It is in the air, left side of the infield. Castellanos into foul ground, battling it, but it's about a row deep out of play.
Expect the Yankees to swing early and often against David Price. They had 5 starts against him last year, and they had really good numbers against David. He was 1-2 with an ERA that was approaching 6.
Ellsbury, .327 career against Price, so he has had some success against David.
Ellsbury, good fastball hitter. David Price likes to throw a lot of fastballs.
Here is David's 0-1 pitch. And Ellsbury looks at a ball, 1 strike.
David Price, no sleeves tonight.
Looks manly out there without the sleeves.
Sure does.
Man, this is one of those nights where you want to be bundled up, not Price. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Ellsbury takes outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Chris Young waiting on deck. And Price with the 2-1 pitch, bouncing ball foul, first base side. 2-2 the count on Jacoby Ellsbury. He's 1 for 8 in the series. He has a stolen base as well. .263 batting average. No homers, no RBIs. In fact, he has gone 68 plate appearances this year without an RBI. That is the most in the American League. Now Price with the 2-2. He chopped that one foul at home plate right off his foot. Ellsbury will try and walk it off. This is not one of those nights where A, you don't want to hit a ball squarely, or B, you don't want to hit one off your foot.
And if you're the Yankees, you know that David Price has outstanding command with his fastball, and he has the ability to throw to the weaknesses of these New York Yankees hitters.
Ellsbury waits on the 2-2 offering. Here it is. And that is lifted foul down the left field line. That'll get back out of play. Well, we told you it's chilly tonight. Here are the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. How about 38 degrees at game time? And there were flurries floating around the ballpark just minutes ago. It is overcast here at the ballpark and a little bit of a breeze. Miguel Cabrera doing what he can at first base to stay warm. He's not the only one. Again, the 2-2. And he missed with it. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jacoby Ellsbury.
And there's that curveball that I said he might have a difficult time of throwing today with any bite whatsoever because of the cold weather. Mario told you it's 38 degrees, and you can see that breaking ball simply slipped right out of the hand of David Price.
3-2. Oh, look out. Ellsbury drilled by the pitch. Oh, man. And Price, you could see the look on his face, didn't mean to do that. It hurts on any night, but when it's 38, double the pain.
Hit it right in the chest.
Wow. I thought initially he took it off the hand or the arm.
Well, it sounded like it might have been fouled off. Nope. No. Hit him square in the chest.
There's that reaction to David Price. Well, the Yankees get the leadoff man on the hard way.
It's the first batter that David Price has hit this year.
Here's Chris Young, who had a terrific night last night. He's batting .344. In fact, he's off to a really good start, period. Home run, couple of walks as well. Was on base all night long. And he looks at a strike 0-1.
And one of the things that David Price is going to try to force Chris Young into doing tonight, and that's to drive the ball into right field. He is a fastball pull hitter. And you can see the outfielders and the infielders slightly shading Chris Young to the pull field.
The 0-1. Checked it low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe Girardi trying to find a way to get Young into the lineup these days because of the red hot start he has gotten off to, and the fact that Carlos Beltran has gotten off to a slow start.
Yeah, he's bumped him up to that number 2 spot here tonight against the left-handed Price. If you hit, they will find a place for you to play.
It's one of the truisms in baseball, isn't it?
No doubt about that.
And it doesn't matter what level. That's in the air to shallow center field. Ghost coming on, and he'll make the one-hop play. It's going to drop in. Quick throw, not in time.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health System. Cespedes, Ghost, and Martinez in the outfield. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Miggy in the infield. Alex is a catcher. And the Tigers committed their 4th error of the season last night, tied for 2nd fewest in the majors.
So Young against left-handed pitching now 7 for 13. Bloop single to center field. The base runner Ellsbury had to hold up to see if that ball would be caught and just made it into second base. So here is Alex Rodriguez batting .267. He came into this series as one of their better hitters, but the Tigers, for the most part, have slowed him down. A-Rod complaining about something, though. He wanted the umpire to move over.
Yeah, he had the umpire move over to the shortstop side of second base.
Alex in the series is 0 for 7. He does have a couple of walks. And a wave and a miss, 0-1. And you touched on it each of the first 2 nights. The off-speed stuff has really kept Alex off balance.
That was a straight changeup there and a beauty. Blaine Hardy also threw Alex Rodriguez some really good changeups last night.
A-Rod 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. He hit a home run recently in Tampa that went better than 470 feet. And that backs him out of there.
That's the furthest homer hit so far this year. If you're David Price, you can go one of 2 ways now. You can either go back inside with the fastball, 4-seam variety at about 95, or you can throw another straight changeup faded down and away from Alex. And you might get the ground ball that you're looking for in this situation.
Here's the 1-1. Straightens him up. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup, and it looks like career against David Price. Price has had the Bernstein advantage, only .233 against David.
17 strikeouts.
Whoa.
And 43 at-bats Alex has against Price.
Early scoring opportunity for the Yankees. 2 on, nobody out. Just underway at a chilly Comerica. 2-1 is outside. 3-1.
David already pitching a little stress here in the first inning. He has not pitched in much stress in his 3 previous starts this season.
Mark Teixeira waiting on deck. Tigers last night had a stressful 7th inning. They couldn't throw strikes. In fact, Tigers staff last night walked 9 Yankees batters. And that is something they will hope to avoid here tonight. Here's the 3-1. They'll get back out of play. 3-2 on Alex Rodriguez.
The Yankees really have one goal in mind, and that's to get the pitch count of Price up to where he only pitches about 6 innings here tonight. That's their MO going into any game, and it really hasn't changed under Joe Girardi, their manager, in his 8th season. They try to wear down the starting pitchers and get into the middle relief of the opposing team that they're playing on any given night.
Full count.
And you wonder if Joe Girardi will start the runners here.
They do not. Swing and a miss, and good thing they didn't. Alex Rodriguez strikes out.
And we showed you that he's having a difficult time with the curveball, at least a couple that he's already thrown here. But this is the changeup grip here. It's a circle change, straight changeup, and Alex Rodriguez swung right through 2 of those.
So that'll bring up Mark Teixeira, who's done some damage in this series. He doubled in a run yesterday, homered in the first game, yet he's batting only .200 on the year. And Teixeira now has an RBI in each of his last 4 games. That's it for a strike, 0-1.
That's one thing about Mark Teixeira. Historically, he's gotten off to really slow starts as far as the batting average is concerned.
This season, no different. With that .200 average. Yankees have scored first in each of the first 2 games in the series. And a ball outside, 1-1. Tigers starters coming into this game with 9 wins. That's the most in the American League. An ERA of 2.31. That's the best in the American League. Starting pitching has been one of the big reasons the Tigers come in with 11 victories. Here's the 1-1. 2-1. A lot of history here between Teixeira and Price. Mark has hit 3 home runs against Price, but his average is .214. Price has already thrown 20 pitches here in the first inning. 2 on, 1 out. Way outside again, and the count goes 3-1. Waiting on deck, Brian McCann. Inning started with Ellsbury getting hit by a pitch, and then Young blooped a single to center field. And right now, Price would love a ground ball here. The 3-1. High, walked him. That will load the bases. First walk of the night for Price. And McCann will step in now with the bases full.
And McCann, for a left-hander, he has enjoyed a lot of success in his career against David Price. He's hitting .500 against David, and he's hit 3 homers in his career against him.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good success. 7 for 14.
And when David Price made his Tiger debut at Yankee Stadium last August, it was Brian McCann who homered in that game against Price.
It belies the lefty-lefty matchup that this is. McCann in the series 1 for 8. He has a double. That's about it. Off to a .225 start this year. Swing and a miss. That pitch was up, and McCann went after it. 0-1. McCann sees a lot of shifts, but the Tigers infield pretty much straight up with the bases loaded here. Shortstop Iglesias shading a little bit towards second. The 0-1. Lifted toward left field, slicing. Cespedes on the run, still coming. It's going to drop, and it's a fair ball. One run will score as each base runner moves up. Jacoby Ellsbury comes in on the blue single by McCann.
And nothing Yoenis Cespedes could do in left field, playing rather deep and also playing a McCann slightly pull in left center field. And he played it off one bounce.
So for the third straight game in this series, the Yankees score first. Here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran looks at a strike, 0-1. 0 for 3 in the series and batting just 171. We mentioned he's gone off to a slow start. And so has Price in this game. 13 strikes, 12 balls of his 25 total pitches. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Three for 17 on their current road trip is Beltran. Yankees in a stretch of 25 of 35 on the road. But they're 5-3 right now on their road trip, so they've done some pretty good work. Swept Tampa before they came here. That is popped up and fouled back out of play.
We saw it last night. Yankees have a really good bullpen, especially the back end of that bullpen, and it's accounted for a few wins on this road trip.
Yeah, Andrew Miller struggled a little bit last night in that he walked and walked a batter, faced the bases loaded, and really kind of scuffled to close that one down. However, Betances looked really good. Martin looked good.
Yeah. All three of those guys had fastballs above 95.
Here's the 0-2. Avila down to get it. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Beltran. Chase Headley waiting on deck. It's got to be one of those nights, whether you're Price or Warren or whoever is pitching tonight, to really be difficult to just get loose, get the arm loose and get the blood flowing. 38 right now at game time. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Beltran chasing strike 3.
And when a guy throws as hard as Price does, 95 miles an hour as a hitter, you don't really have a lot of time to decide whether that ball is going to be in the strike zone or not. And Beltran leaves the strike zone to help out David Price.
So with 2 outs, bases remain loaded. That'll bring up Chase Headley, who's batting .241, but only 2 for 19 this year versus left-handed pitching. Strike 1 in the outside corner. Headley 2 out of 7 of the series for the Yanks.
And Joe Girardi has taken a couple of left-handers out of his starting lineup that started the first 2 games of the series. And Brett Gardner and Stephen Drew.
In there for a strike, and all of a sudden it's 0-2.
If you're Price here, you cannot afford to make a mistake. Not as hard as you've worked. And to get yourself within 1 strike of getting out of this without giving up just 1 run.
Seventh man to bat in the inning. They have him loaded, 1 run in. Here's the 0-2. Fouled away. Headley stays alive. Game 3 tonight of what will be a 4-game series between these 2 ball clubs, and the Indians come a-calling this weekend. Gregorio Petit waiting on deck. flurries starting to fall again now at the ballpark. And again, the 0-2 fouled away. This is quite a sight. I mean, here we are in late April, and it is really starting to snow now. Did you ever play in snow?
I think I may have played a few times in snow.
Yeah, you had to along the way somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Price looking for that final strike. The wind is whipping. The snow is falling. Here is the 0-2. And another foul back of the screen.
So far, the Yankees have done a marvelous job here in the very first inning, driving that pitch count of David Price's up to 34.
Yeah, even if they only get one run in this inning, they've done some pretty good work.
They have. And it started with their leadoff hitter, Jacoby Ellsbury, who was hit on a 3-2 pitch.
Price trying to put away Chase Headley here with the bases loaded. And he missed high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Should Headley reach, Petit waiting on deck. Broadcaster's nightmare tonight. You got Gregorio batting 8th and Gregorius batting 9th. You know it was bound to happen.
Got to come up with some nicknames.
Yeah, we do.
Gregorius, the shortstop, he can simply be DD.
There you go. I'm up for that. Good call. And he thought about it, let it go outside, run the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes. So a challenging inning here for David Price in the first. It started with a hit batter, then a bloop single, a walk, a base hit. And the Yanks have an early 1-0 lead. 36 pitch first inning so far for Price. Here's the 2-2. Line to left, that's a base hit. 1 run scores, that's Young. Teixeira will be held at third base with Cespedes getting to that ball quickly, and it's a 2-0 Yankees lead.
For whatever reason, the Yankees, the last 2 years, they've had Price's number. He made a total of 5 starts against them last year, and he didn't do very well. That's a changeup and just a real nice job with 2 strikes by Chase Headley, cutting his stroke down, hitting a solid single on the left.
Two runs on 3 hits in this inning for the Yankees. Headley has picked up an RBI, his 8th, and Gregorio Petit will step in. Bases still loaded. A very slow start for Petit, who's batting just 111. He was acquired from the Houston Astros on April 1st. And he looks at strike 1. Petit with just 1 RBI so far this year. Yankees forced to pick up Petit when they had Brendan Ryan go on the disabled list. He's been hurt. And so they picked up Petit for some infield depth. There's Didi Gregorius waiting on deck. Oh, 0-2 on Gregorio Petit. Just off the plate outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's an even 40 now for Price. We don't often see this. just off the plate there, inside that time. 2-2 on Petit. The crowd doesn't like it.
And David's gone inside aggressively with a couple of fastballs, four-seam variety, but hadn't gotten the call from the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis.
That one seemed to be just a touch inside. Here's the 2-2. Drilled toward left field on the run. Assessment is still going. That ball's over his head, and it's up against the wall. One run is in. Here comes McCann, and a third run rounding third. Headley coming around to score, and he clears the bases, does Petit, with a two-base hit. And it's 5-0 early here for the Yankees.
And David Price last year, one of his final starts of the season, had one of his worst career starts against the Yankees. In just 2 innings, gave up 12 hits and 8 runs. And the Yankees, boy, apparently they figured out something then, and they've stayed with it.
3 RBIs on that hit by Petit. Here's that start on August 27th. He went 2 innings, 8 runs, and lasted just 68 pitches.
So in his last 2 2/3 innings against this Yankees team, he's given up a whopping 13 earned runs.
Hard to believe.
It is really hard to believe, someone with the skill set of Price.
Didi Gregorius now. Runner at second, 2 outs. David had gotten to 2 strikes on Headley and 2 strikes on Petit, but they both come back with base hits. A double for Petit.
Had 2 strikes on Ellsbury before he hit him.
Five runs on 4 hits in this first inning for the New York Yankees. Way high, 2 balls, no strikes.
And with David Price, you have to wonder with this weather and being as cold as it is tonight, 38 degrees, if he's having a difficult time of commanding the baseball, because he's thrown 43 pitches and 19 of those have missed the strike zone.
We saw a couple of guys last night that had trouble commanding with the cold weather late. Albuquerque had a lot of trouble, even Andrew Miller walking a couple of guys. There's another one missed, and now the count goes 3-0.
Tigers are going to have to get somebody up in that bullpen.
And that is the last thing that Brad Ausmus planned on early in this game. Here's Ellsbury, who started the game, hit by a pitch. Here's a 3-0. Inside, almost hit him. And so Price continues to struggle. And it's his second walk in the inning to go with a hit batter. And now the Tiger bullpen will start to scurry a little bit, as Jacoby Ellsbury comes up for the second time in this inning. Angel Nesbitt is warming up. Ball 1. If you're a Tiger reliever tonight, you're figuring you come to the ballpark, you're just going to chill for 8 innings or so.
Brad Ausmus, the manager, thought as much too with David Price on the mound. He's had 3 starts this year. He's pitched into the 8th inning on 2 of the 3.
David might get to 50 pitches in this inning. The 1-0. Grounded foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. RBIs for McCann and Headley, 3 of them for Petit, as Nesbitt continues to heat up. One ball, 1 strike on Jacoby. Hit by a pitch, scored a run. And he slices one to left. That's a base hit. Up with it is Cespedes. He's going to fire it to the plate. There's going to be a play. Safe at home plate. Both runners will move up as the ball gets away from Avila. Could not handle the one-hop throw where the Yankees lead 6-0. They challenged the arm of Yoenis Cespedes and scored a run.
And Cespedes, he short hops Avila. Avila would have caught, had he caught it, they would have gotten the out. The throw, it clearly beat the base runner, but Avila not able to handle it cleanly.
And as a result, both of the base runners move up as well. As Petit comes around to score. Gregorius goes to third, and Ellsbury goes to second.
I sure didn't see this coming.
Nope. And this is what I didn't see coming either. Pitch number 50. Swing and a miss. Pitching coaches and managers get a little bit leery when you get to the 40 mark. When you get to the 50 mark, they're very leery. Single E7 was the ruling on that play.
You'd have to think that this is his last batter if he doesn't get Chris Young.
No doubt. Drilled towards center field. Ghost coming on. He'll get there. And that will finally end the inning. What an inning it was for the Yankees. They score 6 runs in the frame. David Price walks off, hoping the offense can get going on a snowy night at the ballpark here at Comerica. Now as we go to the bottom of the first, it is 6-0 Yankees. Tigers starting lineup presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And we go Kinsler, Cabrera, Victor Martinez, followed by J.D. Martinez, who in his last 9 games has 3 homers. Yoenis Cespedes in left. You got Castellanos, Avila, and Iglesias. They are facing the right-handed offerings of Adam Warren.
And Warren making his 3rd start of this year, his 6th career start. He's got a fastball that gets up to 94, 95. He's got a slider, he's got a changeup, also a curveball, and he throws all 4 of those pitches.
And he left the bullpen about a half hour ago and had to sit on the bench. Don't get me wrong, he'll take the 6 runs.
That's right.
Here's Anthony Ghost leading it off, batting .406. What a start it's been for the Tigers center fielder. And there's a strike called 0-2.
A nice little cut fastball off the outside part of the plate given to him by Jerry Davis. He's watching Warren on the Tigers television downstairs. He threw a lot of fastballs, whether he was cutting it, sinking it, or four-seam variety. A lot of heaters.
1-2 on Ghost. Warren is 27 years old, was exclusively pitching out of the bullpen last year for the Yankees. Born in Birmingham, Alabama. And the 1-2. Ghost takes high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Anthony 2 out of 4 in the series against the Yankees. A couple of singles in last night's game. And he takes inside, run it full now, 3-2. Warren had him down 0-2, and now Ghost up 3-2. Kinsler and Cabrera to follow. Sliced foul. Lefty's batting .412 against the right-hander Warren this year. Here's the 3-2. And he walked him. He had him 0-2 and ends up with a base on balls.
Let's take a look at the New York Yankees starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Young, Ellsbury, Beltran in the outfield, Headley, Gregorius, Petit, Teixeira in the infield, and Brian McCann is the catcher. 17 double plays turned this season, 3rd most in the majors. 4 of those last night against the Tigers.
I was going to say, I think they turned all 17 in the series. It seems like it.
And Tigers have hit into 17 as a team.
Here is Kinsler. Tigers trying to cut into that deficit. Ian takes up and in, 1-0.
Maybe the weather does have a little something to do with the fastball command here. Warren not necessarily commanding his fastball either. Well, usually on a night like tonight, it's the pitcher that has the advantage because he knows exactly where he's throwing the baseball. And quite frankly, most of the hitters don't necessarily like swinging the bat in weather like this, but you can't tell the Yankees that.
Line to center field and caught by Ellsbury.
That ball hit right on the screws by Ian Kinsler.
1 on, 1 out. That'll bring up Mr. Cabrera.
Miggy is only 1 for 7 in the series, but generally speaking, since he came to the big leagues, he has worn out New York Yankee pitching.
There are the numbers so far this year: 389, 10 RBIs. Tigers came into the series as the only team with 3 players or more with 10 RBIs or more.
The Yankees have done a pretty nice job with Miguel Cabrera, getting him to ground out to the left side of the infield. And quite a few of his at-bats in the series.
Yeah, and that's where they're playing him now. They've shifted left side against him. Inside, 1-0. .21 hits this year for Miguel, which is 3rd in the American League. Adam Jones of the Orioles leads the way, and Prince Fielder is 2nd in hits.
Adam Jones, the last couple of years, has kind of played in the shadows of a couple of teammates. Chris Davis a couple of years ago, Nelson Cruz last year, but he clearly is the best player on that team.
Meanwhile, 2-0 on Cabrera. I get the feeling that Adam Jones will get his due this year. He's having a great season.
Yeah, he's going to be in the MVP conversation if he continues to perform at this level.
So Miggy now sits 2-0 in the count. And he looks at ball 3 inside. Top hitmen in the American League: Jones 23, Fielder 22.
How about Billy Butler?
Country Breakfast having a good start with his new team. .30 pitch. Miggy looks at ball 4. That'll put 2 on. Couple of walks in the inning. Well, by the way, stay tuned for Tigers Live following the game. We will select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by the 2 for $5 Classic Quarter Pounder with cheese. So neither pitcher coming out very sharp here in this game. A couple of walks and a bullet that was hit to center field against Warren. Victor is hitting .265. hitless in this series, 0 for 5. Tigers trying to chip away at that deficit early here. See if they can make Warren pay for a couple of walks. Ball 1. Warren did really good work out of the bullpen for the Yankees last year, an ERA of 2.97. Pretty much won the 5 spot in the rotation during spring training.
He had a great spring.
He won that spot over Esmiel Rogers. There's a strike called, 1-1. Here are the splits on Warren as a starter and a reliever in his professional career, at least his big league career. See the numbers at 3.23 overall out of the pen. Hasn't started many games. Missed inside, 2-1.
Brian McCann, the catcher of the Yankees, continues to call for the fastball inside, but Warren continues to miss with the four-seam fastball. He missed a couple of times against Cabrera.
This is lining up to be a frustrating night for both pitching coaches. Price threw 51 pitches in the first. And that ball is up, 3-1. Yep, it's going to perhaps be a head-scratching night. Here's the 3-1. He walked in ball 4. That's going to load the bases. 3 walks in the inning for Warren. And the only out he's gotten was hit sharply to center. Larry Rothschild coming out of the dugout for the Yankees. So as they chat on the mound, we tell you that this Saturday the Tigers face the Indians at 1:08 in the 21st Annual Negro Leagues Tribute Game. The first 10,000 fans receive a Detroit Stars scarf. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. All right, here's the Tigers' chance to climb back into this game. The bases are loaded, 1 out for J.D. Martinez. J.D. 4 out of 7 of the series, double, couple of runs scored. In for a strike, 0-1. A 6-run first inning for the Yanks. Tigers trying to answer. Grounded foul, 0-2. How about J.D. with the bases loaded in his career? Pretty good, 293. 2 out of 3 this year. And the 0-2. Half swing, grounded foul. Martinez, one of the 3 Tigers with at least 10 RBIs this year. He's got 11. Cespedes, he's on deck, and he has 12 to lead the ball club. Warren now is up to 21 pitches.
And the majority of the pitches that he has thrown have been balls.
There's another one. 1-2. David Price 51 in first inning pitches.
A total of 22 pitches thrown so far for Warren. 14 have missed the strike zone. Of those 14, 12 have been the fastball. There's another one.
Now 2-2.
You'd have to think that the weather's got something to do with the command of these guys tonight, right?
Oh, it has to. Just as I thought it did last night as well. I mean, when David Price throws 51 pitches in an inning, there's something going on, and it's got to be the weather. Here's the 2-2. Low 3-2 to load the count now. And Warren has to come in here.
It's a nice job by J.D. Martinez laying off that breaking ball that was located beautifully at the bottom of the zone. And now if he gets that fastball, they can get 4 runs in a hurry.
He walked him. That'll force in a run. 4 walks in the inning, and what a bizarre start to this game. Anthony Gose touches home plate. 6-1 ball game.
Cespedes already has 1 grand slam this year. He did it on Sunday against Jose Quintana, left-hander of the Chicago White Sox.
Cespedes' career 500 with the bases loaded. Strike call. 500. Batting .304 this year.
Already 9 extra base hits this season for Cespedes, which is tied with a couple of other guys in the American League. Adam Jones is one of them.
Ground ball, diving stop. Gregorius throws to second. Safe there. Another run scores. Six to 2 ball game.
And Gregorius has outstanding range at the shortstop position, but I thought that he might have been better served by coming up and going to third base. Victor Martinez, look at Victor Martinez when the ball gets in the glove here of Gregorius. If he comes up and looks toward third base, they get the out there, no problem. But he tried to force the issue by going to second and threw a poor throw to Petit, the second baseman, and they get no one.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, Victor was barely halfway down the line. Castellanos looks at a ball.
I mean, the only thing that I could think of, Gregorius trying to go to second versus going to third to take the easy out, Victor running in his face, is he was trying to turn 2 with that.
6-2 ball game.
Yeah, you have to love the way the Tigers have bounced right back here in the bottom half of the first inning.
Castellanos, 9-game hitting streak. It's 11 for 29 in that 9-gamer. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing ball to short. Gregorius will underhand it to second. Relay to first. Not in time. A run will score. That was a long distance to underhand the throw.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Maury. I don't know if they turned 2 anyway, but you would have thought that Gregorius would have thrown the ball overhand to Petit to get it to him a little faster, which may have bought him a little bit more time to turn it over. I mean, that's 20 feet.
Oh, it sure is. I'm not sure I've ever seen a shovel toss that long.
And by him throwing overhand and a little firmer throw to the second baseman, they might have been able to get Castellanos.
In the meantime, the Tigers have cut into the deficit now. It's a 6-3 ball game. Runners at first and third for Avila. And he takes a strike. The Tigers have 3 runs on just 1 hit in this inning. And they have 4 walks. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Alex. David Price trying to keep warm in that dugout. His teammates have got him 3 back. Price and Warren have combined to throw 82 pitches in the first inning. And we're still going. The 0-2. Line to left field, a base hit. An 0-2 single to left. Martinez scores, and it's 6-4.
It's a real pretty swing by Avila. It's a breaking ball right in his sweet spot, in his happy zone. And breaking balls aren't doing a whole lot today. Great balance displayed there by Avila.
It's almost as if your arsenal is cut severely if you can't throw that breaking ball the way you want to throw it. That one laid in there beautifully for Avila, who slapped it to left. Now the tying runs are on. Ball one inside to Iglesias. Both teams batting around here in the first inning. Avila's just picked up his 4th RBI. Fleury starting to fall again at the ballpark. Way inside, 2-0.
It appears that Warren now is just aiming his fastball.
Both teams have had action in their bullpen in the first inning. Rogers now is warming up. Esmiel Rogers for the Yankees. Oh, that one's off the mask of the catcher, McCann. Iglesias had a rip at the fastball. The 2-1. Popped up. Right side of the infield. Petit to make the play, and that'll end the inning. Tigers back in it, though. A 4-run burst. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Chrysler, come in and get a great deal during the Chrysler Awards season event. And by Capri Sun, no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. How about that first inning, Rod?
About an hour long.
It took nearly an hour to play the first inning at 6-4, but David Price now has an opportunity back in this game as A-Rod skies the first pitch in a shallow left. Well, that's a better start, that's for sure. 1 out. 87 pitches thrown to 52 minutes, 10 runs scored. That is a career high 51 in a single inning for Price, which I guess we kind of figured. Here's Teixeira. Strike 1 on Mark Teixeira. He walked and scored in the 6-run first. 11 men came to the plate for the Yankees. Ball outside, 1-1. Mentioned it, but David made his Tigers debut against the Yankees last August at Yankee Stadium. It was a much different scene on that night. Struck out 10 and 8 2/3. 2-1. He had just joined the Tigers for the stretch run. New surroundings, new team. Pitching at Yankee Stadium, did a bang-up job. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Teixeira. Foul back out of play. Here's the MGM Grand Detroit bringing you the scouting report on walks per 9. And it looks like David Price is among the best. Cliff Lee, Bartolo Colon since 2013. Less than 2 walks per 9 innings. Line to left field, right at Cespedes, who had him played perfectly. 2 gone. We'll bring up Brian McCann. So McCann will come up there now with the shift down. He was up there with the bases loaded his first time. They had to play him straight up. Now David steps off. I was reading where McCann last year had the 5th most at bats against a shift of any player in the American League, and it frustrated him because many times he would hit into that shift, and because of that his batting average was low.
We've already seen him in this series attempt to bunt for a base hit down the third baseline because of the shift, and he's also hit a couple of balls in the direction toward left field, so he's trying to make that adjustment to beat the shift on occasion.
And it's something that he worked on during spring training. In fact, he saw Prince Fielder do it, bunt for a base hit down the third baseline, and he said, I can do that.
It's hard for guys like McCann, especially when you get back to Yankee Stadium.
Right.
With that 314 inviting porch in right field. All of a sudden, everything you've worked on, all of a sudden, you're a pull hitter again.
Popped up foul. Vila with a long run, not going to get there. Back on the dugout roof. It's one of the reasons the Yankees signed him as a free agent, figuring that short porch in right field would elevate his numbers.
Also tremendous leadership skills in the 6 years that he spent in an Atlanta Braves uniform.
Seven consecutive seasons with 20 or more home runs. Price in search of the 1-2-3 second. Drilled to center field. Ghosts on the run. Won't get it. That'll be a base hit. And McCann has his second hit of the game.
He just wears out David Price.
Hey, Saturday, MLB returns to Fox Sports 1, starting with an AL Central battle. The Indians taking on the Tigers in a game you can see on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the return of the Subway Series. Yankees battle the Mets. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern on America's home for baseball every Saturday, Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Carlos Beltran struck out with the bases loaded in the first inning. He'll shoot one to left center field. That ball is going to get down. It's going to go to the wall. We'll see if McCann can come around to score. They're going to wave him in. Iglesias with the cutoff, throws to the plate, off target. An RBI for Carlos Beltran, and it's 7-4 Yankees.
And just when it appeared that David Price was going to get out of this second inning, McCann with a solid single and then a double off the bat of Carlos Beltran.
Beltran taking third on the throw home. Back up to a 3-run lead for the Yanks. Oh, they ruled it a triple.
How in the world do you rule that a triple?
That's a double.
Exactly.
That is a double, but he'll take it. Beltran gets a triple. Here's Chase Headley. Fouled straight back. 7 runs on 7 hits for the Yankees. 4 runs on 2 Tigers hits. Headley picked up his 8th RBI of the season back in the first inning with an RBI single. Checked it up high. I don't believe he went, and he did not. So says Phil Cuzzi. Brad Ausmus saw his ace go out and give up 6 in the first, while the Tigers answered with 4. Way outside, 2-1. Price doing his best to keep his pitching hand warm out there on the mound. We had that shot of David in the dugout while the Tigers were batting. Had that heating pad over his hand to keep it warm. Now they 2-1. 3-1 on Headley. Single by McCann, triple by Beltran to make it 7-4. That coming with 2 outs. Line to right field. That's going to get down. It's going to shoot the gap all the way to the wall. Another run will score. Headley is going to take the turn and go for 3. And Iglesias will hold up the relay. It's a triple for Chase Headley.
These Yankees are hitting David Price like they know exactly what's coming. It is now back-to-back starts for Price against the Yankees, where he has given up 8 earned runs in both of the starts.
Not to be believed. So back-to-back 3-base hits for the Yanks. And Nesbitt, who was up in the first inning, is now up again in the second. They're going to walk Gregorio Petit. He cleared the bases with a 3-run double as part of their big first inning. Didi Gregorius waiting on deck. 70 now for David Price. And here comes ball 4 to Petit. So he is on. Intentional walk. First and third now for Gregorius. (8-4) Yankees lead. Gregorius had a base on balls in the first inning. 3 of them now for David. Foul tip into the glove for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch. Lifted back out of play. Quickly 0-2 on D.D. Gregorius.
And Gregorius got the night off last night. He's been struggling this year. First tour of duty in a Yankee uniform, replacing an icon in Derek Jeter. And so Joe Girardi, the manager, just kind of gave him a day off last night.
One for 3 in the opener. Here's the 0-2. He stays alive by slapping that one foul back at the screen. Gregorius was part of that deal that brought Shane Green to the Tigers. Gregorius going to the Yanks, Green to the Tigers. Ellsbury waiting on deck. A 2-run second here for the Yankees after a 6-run first. They have 8 runs on 8 hits. And the 0-2 in the air towards center field. Ghost is under it. That'll end the inning. 2 more runs in for the Yanks. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the second. In this one, you missed a whole lot. It was a wild first inning. The New York Yankees had a hit batter, a couple of walks, and in the end, they would score a total of 6 runs in the first. David Price throwing 51 pitches.
And Warren, he also struggled for the New York Yankees. He was very wild in the very first inning. He could not find the strike zone, and the Tigers took advantage of that wildness by putting 4 runs on the board themselves.
Meanwhile, the Yankees get a couple more, so we go to the bottom of the second. It is a wild one here tonight, 8-4 in favor of New York. Anthony goes up for the second time, walked and scored a run in the first. And he looks at a strike. Ghost and then Kinsler and then Cabrera facing Adam Warren. Ghost had a walk and a run scored, 2 out of 4 in the series. He's had a 3-hit game already this year and a leadoff home run. It was his first of his career that came against the Indians in Cleveland. I think that was against Kluber.
It was. They had a pretty good pitching matchup today on the south side of Chicago. Jeff Samardzija and Corey Kluber. Samardzija won the game. And they shut out the Indians.
Samardzija pitched well against the Tigers, so that's 2 pretty good ones now.
Yeah. Threw a lot of fastballs at Detroit that day.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Ghost. Another foul lifted back out of play. I mentioned Warren had trouble himself in the first inning. 4 walks, 1 of them coming with the bases loaded. And he's trying to avoid another walk here. 3-2 pitch. Another foul back out of play. Ghost again getting the start in center field with the right-hander on the mound. It's been a really good compliment to Rajay Davis this year. Swing and a miss. Warren got him that time, struck him out. It's the first of the game.
That's a 4-seam fastball that's right down the middle, about thigh high. And then Anthony Ghost just swung right through.
Here's Ian Kinsler. Kinsler absolutely scalded a ball his first time up. He lined one to the center fielder Ellsbury. He hit a ball as hard as he could possibly hit it right at him. 2 for 9 in the series for Kinsler. Strike call. 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kinsler right now 3rd in the American League in runs scored. He has 12 this year. Miggy waiting on deck. Lifted toward right field. Beltran is under it. And there are 2 gone in the Tigers' second. That'll bring up Cabrera. Same 2 teams to close it out tomorrow, Sanchez and Tanaka. But a lot to be decided yet tonight. There's a Miggy fan. There's a lot of them. A lot of 24s in the crowd every single night here at the ballpark.
And first time Miguel was up this evening, he got quite a few fastballs inside from Adam Warren before finally walking.
One ball, 1 strike. Well, there's the ratio on Warren. 50-50 after 50. Low and away, 2-1. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And Cabrera takes inside, 3-1. There's the number 24. All bundled up. Back out of play, 3-2 now on Miguel. Cabrera came in at 389 in the batting average column. Red hot start to the year. He shoots another one back to the screen.
And more than likely, this will be the last time that we ever see anybody other than Miguel Cabrera wear number 24. And that number will be retired at some point in time, and Miggy will have his statue here at Comerica Park.
Again, the 3-2. Making life tough on Warren right now. Ground ball to short. Gregorius gobbles it up, and Cabrera is out. Adam Warren has a 1-2-3 inning. On our way to the third, Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. He's on top of the Tigers here. 8-4 is our score as we go to the third. Here are the last two starts against the Yanks for David Price, and these ride with the numbers you were talking about.
So rare. I mean, I don't know exactly what the Yankees are looking at, but it appears to me that David might be tipping something that they have in their dugout, which is allowing them to have a lot more success than anybody else in the big leagues has against David Price. Of their last 27 batters, 22 of them have reached base safely against David Price.
Well, that would seem to be a logical explanation, if that indeed is the explanation. You're right, man. It seems like they know what's coming. 1 ball, 1 strike. They have been that good. 8 more hits and 8 runs today. Ellsbury has been hit by a pitch, and he has singled in a run. Young to follow, and then Alex Rodriguez. Price with the 1-1 pitch, and Jacoby looks at the ball inside. 2-1.
He's attempted to throw a couple of those breaking balls here today, but really hasn't had a good feel for it.
Missed again. 3-1. Price has walked 3, but one of those intentional. Lifted to center on a line, base hit.
Boy, oh boy.
Leadoff man on. Back to the studio we go. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thank you. Here are the particulars on that injury update to Joe Nathan. Just 2/3 today, 10 pitches with Toledo before he had to leave. And certainly not good news.
Nope, not good news at all.
Felt some pain in that elbow. So we'll see what is next for Joe Nathan, but right now,
and more than likely he'll have to go for further evaluation.
Here is Chris Young. Single fly out for Young. Up for the third time, Angel Nesbitt.
He's already thrown a couple of innings in that bullpen.
He was up in the first, up in the second, now up here in the third after the leadoff single by Ellsbury.
Blaine Hardy, probably the only member of the Tigers bullpen who is not available today. He threw quite a few pitches yesterday.
Young singled and scored in the first. And he fouls it away. Young probably feels he has something to prove this year. He was let go last season by the Mets. He had signed a one-year deal with the Mets. He didn't even last the entire year. They let him go in August. He was batting .205 at the time. The Yankees picked him up. He did well enough to warrant a contract with the Yankees this year. They got to find him some at bats the way he's swinging. Another throw back to first base. Last year, Young joined the Yankees on September the 2nd. 19 of his 32 hits since have been for extra bases. He did a lot of that in Arizona. Hit a lot of home runs with the Diamondbacks. The 0-1 to center field on a line. Goes. Ellsbury retreats. 1 on, 1 out. That'll bring up Alex Rodriguez. Are intensifying now.
Yeah, they're booing Alex, and he's the only one that hadn't done anything tonight.
He's 0 for 2. Strikeout and fly out. Boo. 0 for 9 in the series. Boo. And that one drops in nicely for a strike 0-1.
And for whatever reason, David Price, when Alex gets up there, he's got a nice feel for his off-speed pitches.
Alex, 658 home runs. 2 behind Willie Mays for 4th all time. That's in there. Now it's 0-2.
That's a good pitch. They've thrown Alex so many off-speed pitches in the series. He was sitting on an off-speed pitch there and could not pull the trigger on a 91-mile-per-hour fastball that basically split the plate.
Here's the 0-2. Just off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes on A-Rod. There is Mark Teixeira waiting on deck. Up to 86 now for David. 86 pitches. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Alex has won 3 MVPs in his career. 14 seasons of better than 100 RBIs.
Alex also had one season where he hit 40 homers and stole more than 40 bases.
Two and two. Soft liner to center field, base hit. That is his first hit of the series.
Well, Brad's going to have to go get David.
Second hit in the inning, and Ausmus making his way up the stairs and out to the mound. Nesbitt will be entering this ball game. That is the 10th hit that David Price has allowed in this game.
Well, if you're wondering who pitched yesterday and how many pitches they threw, we're going to show you a graphic. As I said, Blaine Hardy more than likely the one that they will not use here today with 42 pitches yesterday. Everybody else is available. Kroll's available. Gorzolani would be available along with Al Albuquerque.
And so is Nesbitt. He'll come trotting in for the bullpen. David Price knocked out of the game here in the third, and we've got a wall-side windows pitching change. We'll be back. Play here in the third. They have two men on, only one out, and David Price is done. He'll give way to Angel Nesbitt.
Angel Nesbitt was outstanding in spring training. He was a talk of spring, as a matter of fact, and when they assembled their 25-man roster, he was on it. Pitching in his fifth game this year, no blemish as far as the earned run average is concerned.
He will go up against Mark Teixeira with a couple of singles in this inning. Ellsbury and Alex Rodriguez.
He's got a pretty good arm. Fastball will top out at about 95. He's got a slider. Also working on a nice two-seamer, which will come in handy right now. Ground ball desperately needed.
1 ball and no strikes. Mark Teixeira scored a run in the first. It's already his third at bat of the night. We're in the third inning. David Price knocked out here in the third. And the two runners aboard are his property. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nesbitt is 24 years old, native of Venezuela. On a line to center field goes. Runner at second will tag. Ellsbury will move up. Holding at first base is Rodriguez. Second out of the inning. Yet another hard hit ball to straightaway center field. Here's Brian McCann. He's had a good night tonight. Couple of singles, RBI. He has scored twice. And has got his average up now to 262. McCann takes ball one high. Nesbitt last year, splitting time with Lakeland and Erie, recorded a total of 20 saves, was the Lakeland closer, and had a spectacular year down there, a 0.79 ERA. Did more good work at AA. Ball outside, 2-0. A little over a strikeout per inning in the minors last year. Missing again, 3 balls and no strikes. And McCann will take on 3-0. It's right down the middle of strike. There is Beltran waiting on deck. Yankees opened up with a 6-run first in this game. Another strike, 3-2. Nesbitt ready with a 3-2. Aaron is off from first base, and he skies this one in the air to right center field. Anthony goes under it, and that'll end the inning. So they threaten but do not score. We'll go to the bottom of the third at Comerica.
With a stop there, loose in front of the goal. Helm cleared it.
That's a right pad save there. Quick lightning on a rebound. Nicely done.
Peter Mrazek has shut out Tampa Bay for the second time this season. His third shutout the last 9 games. And the last 2 times he's met Tampa here, he's blanked them.
Our 1-800-CALL-SAM call of the game, courtesy of the dulcet tones of Kenny Daniels last night at the Joe. What an exciting night. The Red Wings go up 2-1 in that series against the Lightning.
Sounded like they were partying in the Joe last night.
Oh, no doubt. Big win for the Red Wings. Meanwhile, the Tigers batting here in the bottom of the third. They are trailing 8-4. And Victor Martinez leads it off. It'll be Martinez, then J.D. Martinez, and Yoenis Cespedes. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's a strike called 1-1 on Victor.
Yankees employing the shift on Victor, even though he's a career 300 batter from the left side. And most guys that are career hitters, they will use the entire baseball field.
Victor had a walk and scored a run. The Yankees had scored 6 in the first, but the Tigers came right back. Mainly because Warren had control troubles in that first inning, walking 4 batters. One of them with the bases loaded. 2-1 on Martinez. In the air to center. Jacoby Ellsbury is there.
And J.D. Martinez had 3 hits in last night's game. As a matter of fact, last 9 games he's been on fire, picking up right where he left off last year when he came up from Toledo after hitting 10 home runs in their first couple of weeks of the season. Good to see J.D. off to another really nice start.
J.D. over his last 9 at .324 clip. No balls, 1 strike on Martinez.
Yeah, there were a lot of whispers out there in the offseason regarding J.D. Martinez. A lot of the experts were wondering if he could go out and repeat what he did last year.
I think the best thing for him was to come out and have a good spring training. He did just that. Hit a lot of long balls down in Lakeland and pretty much continued that. In fact, he hit his first opening day home run of his career.
His confidence level is way high now.
Swing and a miss.
One of the best breaking balls thrown of the night by Warren. Outstanding arm speed on this off-speed pitch. Nice changeup. Came off the fingertips nicely.
Bouncing ball to short. Gregorius bobbles. Still has. No, he doesn't have time. That'll be an error. Routine play for Gregorius. Came up and bit him.
And Gregorius is a really good shortstop, and he usually makes his play in his sleep, but not tonight.
Warren had retired 5 in a row before that error. And so with 1 on and 1 out, here's Cespedes. Each ball club with an error in this game. Cespedes singled in a run. And the Tiger 4-run first inning. Yoenis now with 13 RBIs to lead the Tigers. He has hit safely in the 15 games he's played in with Detroit. He has hit safely in 12 of them. Here's the 0-1. Hits this year for Cespedes. Half of them have been for extra bases. And one of them was the grand slam he hit against Quintana on Sunday against the White Sox. Here's the 1-1. That'll drop in for a strike.
And Warren this inning has thrown some really good straight changeups. Not much of a feel for the breaking ball, but the changeup not really an issue in really cold weather like tonight. The grip not nearly as important on the changeup as it is on the breaking ball.
Popped him up. Foul ground at first. Teixeira. Cespedes is out, 2 gone. It'll bring us to our T-Mobile game changer tonight. And, well, it's going to be Nick Castellanos. Longest active hit streaks. Castellanos with a 9-gamer chasing Matt Holliday, who has a 12-gamer for the Cardinals.
Our former buddy, Omar Infante. 9-game hitting streak. How about them Kansas City Royals, man? They're rolling. They got 11 wins, too.
They are 11-3, tied for first with the Tigers in the American League Central Division.
And they're doing the one thing this year that they really struggled doing the last couple of years, and that's get any kind of offensive production from some of their former #1 draft choices. Moustakas is off to a really good start.
Oh, isn't he, though? They used to be the running Royals. Now they're just scoring a lot of runs. There are the standings in the American League Central. Chicago trying to get back up to 500.
We'll get our first look at the Kansas City Royals in the next road trip. 4-game series in Kansas City.
Here's the 0-1. It seems, Rod, that they're playing with a lot of confidence that was born out of getting to the World Series last year.
I would agree with that 100%. They've always had a lot of talent. But last year, once they got into the playoffs, then they ran off, like 7 games in a row before they lost a game. And then they lost the final game of the year, 7th game of the World Series. With a runner on third and 2 outs.
You're no longer that team that is trying to get there. They got to the World Series last year, which has given them a ton of confidence. Yankee infield thought that was strike 3. They were walking into the dugout. A tad low. Here's the 1-2. Got him, strike 3. So Warren picks up his 2nd strikeout of the game. Tigers will strand a runner, and we go to the 4th.
Our Nissan drives of the game. Back-to-back triples in the 2nd inning. The first one off the bat of Carlos Beltran, and then Chase Edley. He followed going into the right center field gap with another triple. Back-to-back triples against Price here in the 2nd.
David Price no longer part of this game. The Yankees coming to the plate now here in the 4th inning. It is 8-4 in favor of New York. Carlos Beltran will lead it off. And Chase Headley and Gregorio Petit. A little bit outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
And Nesbitt, like so many relievers, regardless of whether there's anybody on base or not, a lot more comfortable pitching out of the stretch.
2-0 the count. I was about to say that Beltran off to a wickedly slow start this year, and then he blasted a triple to the gap in left center field. It is last at bat. Here's a 2-0. 2 balls, 1 strike on Beltran.
He's had a nice career. It came to the big leagues with the Kansas City Royals.
Chase Headley waiting on deck. Beltran last year played with a bulky elbow. He had surgery late September last year. There's a grounder back up the middle, and he's got another hit. So much for that slow start. 2 out of 3 tonight. Hey, Sunday, April 26th, the Tigers battle the Indians at 108. Come early for a special on-field salute to Tigers great Lou Whitaker. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Sweet Lou
came to play every day.
Here's Headley. Shift is on for Headley. Two out of two in this ball game. Single, triple, ground ball to first. Nice play, Miggy. He'll throw to second and drop there. Ay.
Tigers came into play today having committed only 4 errors all season. That is their second error of the night.
Looked to be right on target. Just dropped it.
Well, he was trying to catch the ball and find the bag at the same time. Miggy probably should have touched first base anyway to get that out, at least get that out. And that's exactly what Iglesias did. He took his eye off the baseball trying to find second base.
Talking about how the Tigers have not committed a lot of errors. That is their 5th of the year now. Still among the fewest in the American League. We'll see if that ends up hurting the ball club. There's a bunt attempt by Petit, but it missed way outside. Intentional walk in the second, and he doubled in 3 in his first at bat. Now Nesbitt with the 1-0 bunted. Nesbitt will make the play. Sacrifice advances the 2 runners. Second and third.
Joe Girardi going to try to score as many runs as he can in this game because he's looking up there at that 4-run lead and he doesn't think it's real safe right now.
He's been watching this game. He knows what's going on.
That's right.
It has been tough to get outs. And a handshake and a fist bump there after that sacrifice. Tigers now pulling the infield in. Here is Gregorius. Walking a fly ball in this game. Need to move his feet, and down to the dirt he goes. Yankees got 6 in the first, 2 in the second. All 4 of the Tigers coming in the first inning. Nesbitt took over in the third, got the final 2 outs after David Price was lifted from the game. David not going anywhere. He's still in the dugout.
He's a team player.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's going to stay on that bench and root his teammates on for 9 innings.
It would be so easy right now just to crawl back into the clubhouse.
For sure.
Get warm. After numbers that are un-David Price-like.
That's a sign of a true leader.
Grounded foul. 1-2. Didi Gregorius, leadoff man waiting on deck. That would be Ellsbury. Rip foul this time just outside of the line. Hard hit ball. 1-2 the count stays on Gregorius.
You've said that quite often tonight. Hard hit ball.
Had a lot of them. Fortunately, that one was not put in play. Nesbitt giving up a single. Tigers committing an error in this inning. Drill to right field. That one's going to stay in play and go all the way to the wall. 2 runs will score. Gregorius is motoring towards second. He's in with a double, and the Yankees now lead 10-4.
Everything going right tonight for the Yankees. Joe Girardi, the manager of the Yankees, bunts his number 8 hitter to get to Gregorius, who's batting 190, and he doubles in both runs. There's a breaking ball that just didn't do a whole lot but speed up the bat of Gregorius, who whistled one down in the right field corner.
That is the 12th hit tonight for the Yanks. Their lead is now 6.
Sometimes those mental days off when you're struggling early in the season do you very well, as it is and for Gregorius, who didn't play last night, already 2 hits today with 3 RBIs.
Ellsbury waits on the 1-0 and shoots it foul.
This is Ellsbury's 4th at bat, and we're in the 4th inning. Gives you an idea how this one's gone.
So what you're saying is he's on pace for 9 at bats today.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope that is right. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2 on Ellsbury. He batted twice in the first inning, was hit by a pitch, scored a run, and then later in the inning singled in a run. Nesbitt ready with the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ellsbury is out. First strikeout for Angel. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Chris Young. Single run scored tonight for Young, 1 for 3. And he takes ball 1. Yankees have had 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 8 singles in this game. In fact, their triples came back to back in the second inning. The 1-0. Chopped toward third, foul. So Young, 4 hits in the last 2 nights. He homered in the ball game yesterday, walked a couple of times. Inside, almost hit him. 2-1. Young played his high school ball at a powerhouse high school down in Texas, Bel Air High School, which has produced a few big leaguers. In fact, they have 11 major leaguers that have come out of their high school, namely Jose Cruz Jr. Chuck Knobloch went to that high school. So did Ralph Garr, the old Atlanta Brave.
Oh, Gator.
Is that his nickname?
Yes, it was.
Gator Garr?
Ralph Gator Garr.
2-2 on Young. More action in the Tigers bullpen. Lefty Ian Kroll, who threw last night. Tigers having to piece this one together with Price knocked out in the third.
Yeah, they haven't had to do that a lot this year.
Ooh, look out. That one almost caught A-Rod in the on-deck circle, and for the first time tonight, he's going to be cheered. A-Rod had to dance out of the way of that one. Two and 2 on Young. Low, 3-2. Mentioned that coming into this game, the Tigers starters led the American League with 9 wins. That's how good the starting pitching has been. The bullpen has been well rested, but they are going to get some extra work tonight. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, foul. White Sox beating Cleveland today 6-0. KC playing Minnesota tonight, and Minnesota has an early lead there, 3-0. Tigers came in tied with KC in the center. Again, the 3-2. And again, chop foul. Eight pitch at bat right now for Chris Young. Popped him up. Shallow right field. Kinsler is back waiting for it. And that'll end the inning. Two more runs in, though, for the Yankees on the double by Gregorius on a cold, cold night here at the ballpark. Had snow flurries earlier tonight. The Yankee bat's been hot. The fourth inning. Cold weather is not scared away the youngsters tonight. They're just all bundled up in jackets, blankets, hats, and face paint.
Right.
Still having fun. We'll see if the Tigers now can again begin to crawl back into this game. They'll have Avila leading it off in the fourth inning. 10 runs on 12 hits for the Yankees. 4 runs on 2 hits for the Tigers. Avila singled in a run back in the first. The only other Tiger hit belongs to Cespedes. He also had a single. Hit hard to right field, right at Beltran. 1 up, 1 away in the Tigers' fourth inning. It was looking like Warren might not stick around this game very long either with the way he was struggling with his control.
Yeah, he walked 4 in the very first inning. And he came into the game having only walked 4 all year.
But then he reeled it in. He had a 1-2-3 second. Here is Iglesias. Strike 1 on Jose. Popped up his first time. He missed inside. It was a semi-check swing there by Iglesias.
It's a changeup that kind of faded inside to Iglesias and nearly hit him.
The 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike in the Tiger shortstop. Adam Warren played his college ball at North Carolina. Terrific program they have, the Tar Heels. He spent 4 years pitching there, so a lot of guys will come out after their junior year, but he went back for his senior year, and he won 32 games with the Tar Heels. There's a soft line drive, base hit. 1 on, 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaking fast delivery of the game. We told you that in the very first inning, he walked 4, but he had settled in after that. The Tigers are hitting some balls on the screws, but right at the defenders of the New York Yankees. And Adam Warren out there dealing now. He's found his breaking ball. He's found his changeup as well.
And you'll go against Anthony Gose here.
Warren also homegrown in the New York Yankee system. You don't say that very often about Yankee players, but he's a former 4th-round draft choice.
Yeah, we talked about Brett Gardner being the same thing last night. Homegrown in their system with all of the players they've picked up out of their system over the years. Gose a walk and a strikeout.
As a matter of fact, Warner is the only homegrown Yankee on the field.
Well, let's see. Headley, no. Gregorius, no. Petit, Teixeira, yeah. Wow. McCann, no.
All 3 outfielders started their careers in other places.
1-2 on Gose.
I guess you could somewhat say that about the Tigers starting 9 here today.
Here's the 1-2, and he missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now you've got Castellanos, who is homegrown.
Right.
You've got Avila, who's homegrown. That's it.
That's it.
Hit hard to the shortstop, Gregorius. Nice play. Throws to second one, and they'll get a double play. 6-4-3 to end the inning. 4 in the books here at Comerica Park. And it's been all Yankees tonight. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Meyer, save big with M-Perks from Meyer. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. That is the score as we go to the top of the fifth inning. 10-4 in favor of the Yankees. The Tigers going back to the bullpen. Ian Kroll will take over.
Ian Kroll pitched in last night's game, and he gave up a couple of solo home runs.
It'll be Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, Brian McCann, 3, 4, and 5 in Joe Girardi's lineup. A-Rod 1 for 3, singled in the third. Ball one missing outside to Alex. 271 batting average now for A-Rod. Tigers have gone with Price, then Nesbitt, and now Kroll. Two balls and one strike. Teixeira waiting on deck. That's a strike on the outer edge. 2-2 on A-Rod.
Tigers have thrown Alex Rodriguez so many off-speed pitches in the series that when he does get himself a fastball and a fastball count, he's not able to pull the trigger on it. Ooh, what was that?
Apparently out of the strike zone. 3-2. Kroll wanted it.
Alex is talking to Jerry Davis right now.
You got to give him that.
That's
Come on.
a strike.
3-2. And he walked it. It'll be the third walk in the series for Alex Rodriguez. Leadoff man on here in the fifth. And as 4 more walks tonight for Tigers pitching. They had 9 base on balls in last night's game. Mark Teixeira looks at a strike. Mark Teixeira was part of that free agent class the Yankees brought in back after the 2008 season. They brought in CC Sabathia, AJ Burnett, and Teixeira, and they went on to win the World Series in 2009. 2 of the 3 still with the organization. Burnett out in Pittsburgh. 1 ball, 1 strike. He never really fulfilled the promise the Yankees thought he would provide, Burnett. Foul away. 1-2.
AJ Burnett, one of those pitchers that you wondered why he did not have more success in the big leagues. He was a guy that threw 98 miles an hour with a wicked breaking ball.
Half swing that goes back into the seats. Burnett pitched pretty well against the Tigers with the Pirates on the last road trip. I know that.
He did.
McCann waiting on deck. Teixeira in that 2009 season hit 39 home runs for the Yankees on their way to the World Series.
The Baltimore Orioles actually offered Mark Teixeira as much money as the Yankees did, but he did not want to play for his hometown team. He wanted to play in the pinstripes.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Iglesias to Kinsler. There's 1. There's 2. That'll come in handy. A double play ball. 6-4-3.
About as tailor-made as they get, with Iglesias and Kinsler and Teixeira running down the line.
They're empty now for Brian McCann, who is 2 for 3, a couple of singles and an RBI. McCann now has driven in 7. There's the shift on against McCann. We talked about it earlier in the game and how it really affected his numbers last year. Swing and a miss. 0-2. McCann left his hometown team, the Braves, to sign with the Yankees. The Georgia boy. And the 0-2. Just able to spoil that one. McCann won 5 Silver Slugger Awards with the Atlanta Braves. He really produced well in their uniform. Now Kroll ready with the 0-2. Out, that'll ricochet around the seats. Bouncing ball right into that shift. Castellanos from the outfield grass throws him out. No runs, a walk, nobody left. Tigers baseball tonight is presented by Bell Tire. Yankees, he of course retired last season, and the numbers, well, they're pretty amazing. Certainly a Hall of Fame worthy.
5-time world champion, 20 years in a New York Yankees uniform, and what a classy guy.
20 seasons of watching Derek Jeter play the shortstop position for the Yankees. Joe Girardi knew he had a good one going out there every single night. Captain on the field, captain in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he was once teammates with Derek and then went on to manage him.
Ian Kinsler starts it off as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Tigers down to this one 10-4. On a line to left field, and that ball is caught on the run by Chris Young. He had his circle to get it. One away. Well, I would say this is settling into the game, wouldn't you?
Well, 36 in the very first inning, 7 base runners. There's only been 2 base runners in the last 5 innings.
He looked extremely shaky in the first. After the Yankees had gotten him 6 runs, Warren would go on to walk 4 in that first inning. Miggy had one of those walks and scored a run. Popped up. Shallow right field. Anyone going to get there? Oh, Teixeira almost made a terrific play. Beltran couldn't get there, and Mark Teixeira, with his back to the infield, nearly made a great play.
This ball stayed up long enough for somebody to catch it, but apparently Beltran in right field was playing so deep that he couldn't get there to help out Teixeira.
Loop single. Here's Victor Martinez. Tigers have just their 4th hit in this ball game tonight. Victor walked and a fly ball plus a run scored. It's a tough break if you're Warren. You get a hitter like Cabrera to pop it up. You figure that's an easy out.
Especially one that stays up in the air as long as that one did.
Here's the 0-1. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alan Victor with the bases empty, just 188, but with runners on base this season, 333.
Yeah, concentration level goes up just a tick. And with runners on base.
Low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Warren has to get through 5 if he wants to be eligible to get a win in this ball game tonight. JD Martinez waiting on deck. Martinez still looking for his first hit in this series. 0 for 6 for Victor. Chops one right back up the middle. This might be 2. There's 1. And Petit will complete the double play. Another twin killing turn, the 2nd of the night for the Yankees. Favor of the Yankees in this one. And this Sunday is Kids Day when the Tigers take on the Indians in 108. All kids 14 and under receive a free poster featuring David Price and his dog Astro. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Ian Kroll is still out there for the Tigers. He will go out for his 2nd inning of work. Gave up a walk in the 5th, but he did get a double play ball. Carlos Beltran leads it off. He'll be followed by Headley and then Petit. Ball high and away, 1-0. Tigers have been out hit 12-4 in this game. The 6-run first remains the difference.
And the Yankees, they pretty much have scattered all of their hits up and down the lineup. Everybody in the starting lineup has at least one hit today.
Beltran a single, a triple. He has had 15 home runs or more with 5 different teams. Carlos once won the Rookie of the Year back at '99 with Kansas City. Here's the 2-1 pitch.
Back in those days, Kansas City had some good outfielders, but they couldn't hold on to them because they couldn't afford them. Jermaine Dye, Johnny Damon. They came up with Kansas City as well.
You know, I forgot about Jermaine Dye. You're right.
Yeah.
I remember Damon. 3-2 on Beltran.
They're spending a little bit more money these days, the Kansas City Royals.
Fouled away. Up and down the lineup for the Yankees, as our in-game box score shows you. They've had quite a bit of them tonight. Teixeira has scored a run, but is the only Yankee without a hit. Popped him up. Shallow center field. Kinsler drifting back. One away. Time for a game break now. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. We'll keep our eyes on that one. Royals came in tied with the Tigers in the early going here in first place in the Central.
Our next 2 opponents when the Tigers head back out on the road, Minnesota and then Kansas City.
Chase Headley, the batter. Well, the Tigers absolutely destroyed Minnesota the first 3 games of the year.
They did.
They played a little bit better recently, but they got off to a bad start to the Twins.
They also beat up on the Cleveland Indians when they went to Cleveland, their first road trip of the year.
Well, I know it's early, and it's going to be fun to watch the Tigers take on the Royals in that 4-game series in KC. And even though it's early, I mean, these are still big games within the division.
A couple of good teams.
Looking to make an early statement in 2015.
Tigers handled the Royals pretty well last year.
See if Miggy can get over there. Sliding play, and he can't hold on. One of those nights.
Yeah, Miggy left his feet, and the ball hit right on the heel of the glove and bounced out.
So Headley has new life here in the 6th. Nesbitt came on in the 3rd. He also pitched in the 4th, and then Kroll in the 5th, and now in the 6th. Swing and a miss. So Headley retired nonetheless. 2 gone. Kroll has his first strikeout of the game.
Yeah, it's a real nice cut fastball, 89, thrown by Ian Kroll. Seems like everybody's got a cut fastball these days.
There's Albuquerque warming up, trying to put last night behind him.
Yeah, he couldn't find the strike zone last night.
Gregorio Petit looks at ball 1. He had the big hit early in that big first inning. Drove in 3 with a double. Yankees jumped out to a 6-0 edge tonight. Checked it high and away, and the count goes 2-0. 3-0 on Petit. Gregorius waiting on deck. Here's the 3-0. That's in there. 3 balls, 1 strike. There's ball 4. Yankees get a runner here with 2 outs. Second walk for Ian Kroll in the 5th tonight for Tigers pitching. Yankees have gotten a lot of production out of the bottom of their lineup, their last 2 hitters. They got 5 RBIs between them as Gregorius stands in. Looped that one foul, back out of play, 0-1. Yankees are trying to get back to the postseason this year. They had missed out each of the last 2 years after pretty much having a stranglehold on the East. They had won the East 12 of the previous 15 seasons and then missed out the last 2 years.
Baltimore simply ran away with the East last year.
Kind of hard to believe that anybody's going to run away with that division this year. 0-2 on Gregorius. Boston 2-game lead coming in over Baltimore. 2 up on the Yankees and Toronto as well. Fouled away. Yankees started the season slowly, having lost their first 3 series all against American League East opponents, but they picked up the pace on this current road trip. Look out, down he goes. Did it hit the bat?
Got Alex too, didn't it?
Yeah, sounded like it.
Alex can't catch a break.
Here's the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Gregorius. Trying to get it to the top of the order, Ellsbury. Swing and a miss. Kroll gets his 2nd strikeout. Yankees get a base runner, but leave a man. Here comes the bottom of the 6th from Comerica.
Menards brings you the big money encounters. The Tigers, they hit into 4 double plays in last night's game, and every time they've got something going here tonight against the starter Adam Warren, he's been able to get himself a ground ball and a couple more double plays. So Tigers have hit into 6 double plays in the last 2 days.
10-4 is our score as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And for the Tigers, it'll be J.D. Martinez, Yoenis Cespedes, and Nick Castellanos. J.D. in the ball game with a base-loaded walk, also reaching on an error. Warren has not allowed anything since the 4-run first inning. First pitch is grounded back up the middle. Petit had it played nicely.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Yankee starter Adam Warren. 93 has been his top fastball. 79 he's gone with a breaking ball.
1 out for Yoenis Cespedes. Shift on to the left side of the infield for Cespedes. RBI single and a pop-up. .310 batting average for Yoenis. And he looks at strike 1. Warren missing low. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there is some action in the Yankee bullpen right now. Bouncing ball through the hole. He went the other way, beating the shift.
As easy as it was for Yoenis Cespedes to beat the shift here, there are a lot of big league players that could do the exact same thing if they're just willing to do so. And judging by the number of shifts that we've already seen this year in the first 2 weeks, looks like it's going to be another record.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. We have seen a ton already in the first couple of weeks. I mean, that number probably is just going to continue to grow. Castellanos is swinging a miss. Yankees have turned 9 double plays in this series.
Oh, my goodness.
9 of them. Carpenter and Wilson, they're warming up, by the way, in their bullpen. One ball, 1 strike. Tigers tonight have been out hit 12-5. Castellanos trying to advance his hitting streak. It stands at 9 straight right now, but he's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
Good changeup thrown by Warren. A lot of right-handers a little reluctant in throwing a changeup to a right-handed batter, but he located that one beautifully in an area where Castellanos could do no damage against him.
Avila waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. Ooh, just off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Nick. The 9-game hitting streak represents a career high for Castellanos. After a sluggish start, he has come on with the bat. Averaging .286 right now. Here's the 2-2. Bang that one foul off his foot. Here is the bye inning for Adam Warren. You see the 36 in the first. By the way, Price threw 51 in the first inning. But the numbers have decreased since considerably, as he has now reached 100 in this game. Got him. Strike three. Castellanos knew it. He was caught looking, striking out for the second time in this game.
That's the second time that he's frozen Nick Castellanos with that front door cut fastball for strike three.
Third strikeout of the game for Adam Warren, who after a rocky first inning was able to really settle in. And he will depart the scene to some high fives on their bench. Pitching change here in Detroit. We'll be back. The Tigers minor leagues, Toledo Mud Hens. How about Dixon Machado? He's gone off to a really good start for the Mud Hens.
He's a guy that's always been known for his glove, but the last couple of years, Machado's bat's perked up.
Dean Green hitting over 400 with Erie. And Tommy Collier off to a nice start with the Flying Tigers. Will Maddox hitting .395 for the Whitecaps with 19 total bases already this year. Some of the happenings down in the minor leagues. Meanwhile, Justin Wilson is on.
And last couple of years, Wilson pitched out of the Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen last year. Pitched in 70 games for the Buccos.
And he will face Alex Avila here with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Avila takes strike one.
Another one of those guys coming out of that New York Yankee bullpen with a mid-90s fastball.
This is the player the Yankees got for Francisco Cervelli. Went the other way to the Pirates. Fouled back 0-2. (10-4) Yankees have the lead. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Avila tonight with an RBI single. Also lined out his last time up to the right fielder. And the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Iglesias would bat next if Avila keeps it going. Wilson, born in Anaheim, California, lives in Clovis, California. Swing and a miss, and he's able to dust Avila with a 95-mile-an-hour heater. Let's go to the 7th here at Comerica. For the Yankees on top here in Game 3 in this series, and each team with a win so far. Tigers going back to the bullpen as we head to the 7th. They're going to bring in Al Albuquerque.
Albuquerque had a difficult time last night of finding the strike zone. Pitching in his 7th game, has a couple of holds. The ERA sits at 270.
He will have to deal with the top of the Yankees lineup here. It's going to be Ellsbury, then Young, and then Alex Rodriguez. Ellsbury, good night, 2 out of 3, couple of singles. He was hit by a pitch to start the game. He was hit in the chest by David Price. So a rough night to his start, to his game. But he has since provided 2 singles and knocking one in the first inning as well. And a bouncing ball to first. Right there is Miggy. 1 pitch, 1 out. Much better start tonight for Albuquerque. Well, Saturday, Major League Baseball returns to Fox Sports 1, starting with an AL Central battle. The Indians taking on your Tigers in a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the return of the Subway Series, Yankees and Mets. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern on America's home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Chris Young. Strike 1 to Young. One out of 4 tonight for Young. Singled, scored a run in the 6-run first. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. About as strange of a start as you could have at the ballpark here tonight, Rod. We had snow flurries before the game. Then David Price throws 51 first-inning pitches.
And then you have Adam Warren on the other side. He walked 4, walked in a run. First inning lasted 52 minutes.
It's just a bizarre start. A-Rod waiting on deck. David Price still hanging out. Popped up. This will get back toward the seats and out of play. Two and 2 on Chris Young. Al struggled mightily last night after coming on. a couple of batters. Tigers bullpen in general scuffled last night. Bouncing ball right side. Kinsler can't get it. It's a base hit for Chris Young. Give the Yankees their 13th hit tonight.
And Joe Girardi's going to have to find some playing time for Chris Young. Making it tough on the Yankee skipper.
Certainly been a nice surprise for them out of the gates. A-Rod 1 for 3, single and a walk. Steps away from strike one.
And then again, Chris Young might be one of those guys who, if you use him sparingly, you get the best results out of him. He might not be an everyday player anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's reached base now in 8 of his last 12 appearances, plate appearances. A-Rod backs out again, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Rodriguez. Alex, for the most part, has been kept in check by Tigers pitching in this series. 1 for 10. He has 3 walks, though. Now Albuquerque has fallen behind 3-1. Way outside, another walk for A-Rod, his second of the night. He'll put 2 men on now with 1 out. Well, we've mentioned that A-Rod is climbing the home run charts. Here are some of his milestone home runs.
He hit his first home run June 12th, 1995 against Flash Tom Gordon.
Number 600 came against Sean Markham. And right now, A-Rod's sitting at 658, just 2 shy of Willie Mays for 4th all time. And Teixeira looks at a strike. He's hit into a double play tonight. His only time on base, a walk. That was back in the first inning. He scored a run. High, towering fly ball to right field. Back goes Martinez. JD to the wall, and he's going to watch this one sail out of here. Mark Teixeira with a towering 3-run homer to right field.
The Yankees lead the American League in home runs. That is number 21.
And Teixeira's 5th of the year. It is 13-4 Yankees.
That's a fastball that's screaming hit me. That's right down the middle. And Mark Teixeira, boy, got underneath it and hit it out of here.
So they're empty now with 1 out. And a ball outside to Brian McCann. Yankees getting their first runs since scoring 2 in the 4th inning. Strike call. 1-1. Albuquerque gets ahead of the count now. Two and 2 on McCann. Two singles, 2 runs scored tonight for McCann, plus an RBI. Swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes. It's a second out of the inning, and that will bring up Carlos Beltran. '21 home runs for the Yanks this year. Teixeira's second in the series. Strike called on Beltran. Yankees, if they can win this game tonight, would go 6-3 on their road trip. He went around 0-2.
Didn't you say they play 25 or the next 35 on the road?
Yeah, so I mean, they can get these wins here on the road. That's going to set them up nicely for the rest of the year. That was close. 1-2. Fouled away. Final game of the series tomorrow. It'll be a day game. Don't know how much warmer it's going to be, but certainly can't be any colder than it is here tonight. Another foul back at the screen.
Masahiro Tanaka will be pitching for the Yankees tomorrow. Their ace. They were very encouraged by his last outing, and best one he's had in a long time.
Off the corner.
And the Tigers will counter with Anibal Sanchez trying to get back on track.
A big start early this season for Sanchez. Here's the 2-2. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Albuquerque now has thrown 25 pitches since coming on here in the top of the 7th. Giving up a single, a walk, and a 3-run homer. And the 3-2. Ripped right to the second baseman, Kinsley. Inning over, but 3 more runs in on the home run by Mark Teixeira. Coming up the Dick Scott Automotive 7th inning stretch.
Offense tonight in the first inning for the Yankees. They scored 6, but the Tigers came back with 4 of their own in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Adam Ward, who started for the New York Yankees, walked 4 batters in that inning, but he was settling in after that and really did not give up a whole lot after that. But the Yankees, they just continued to score and score, and it really didn't matter who was in this contest. They racked up a ton of runs in this game, 13 to be exact, on 14 hits.
So the Yankees now will play some defense after adding 3 more runs, and the Tigers will send Jose Iglesias to the plate. 13 runs, 14 hits, 1 error for the Yanks. 4-5-2 for the Tigers. Iglesias has a base hit tonight. That's in for a strike. Jose a single and a pop-up. He'll be followed by Ghost and then Kinsler.
Already 19 hits on the season for Jose Iglesias.
Backed him out of there. Iglesias came into this ball game tonight second in the American League, batting .400. Adam Jones led the way in batting average. Wilson struck out the final batter in the 6th. He's working here in the 7th. And he missed way inside. 3-1. There's Ghost waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. In there for a strike, 3-2.
And 2 years ago, 2013, Wilson went 6-1 with a 2.08 ERA out of the Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen. The 2.08 ERA was first among National League rookies.
He'll get back out of play. Played his college ball at Fresno State. Warren started this game and then came out of the 6th when Wilson took over. 3-2 is inside, ball 4. That'll be a leadoff walk here in the 7th.
There has been a lot of free passes in the game tonight for both teams.
Carpenter's still warming in their bullpen. Here is Ghost, who knocked into a double play his last time up. Hard hit ball to the shortstop Gregorius. Swing and a miss. There's that 94-mile-an-hour heat. Threw it by Anthony. Here's the 0-1. Yankees bullpen, third in the league with an ERA of 2.26 coming in. Third in the league with an opposing batting average of 197. Swing and miss. They have just about gotten it done about every night this year.
A good old country hardball here by Wilson. A 95 four-seam fastball thrown right by Anthony Ghost.
Here's the 1-2. Ghost takes outside. The last one at 95. The Yankees pen also leads the American League in strikeouts. Kinsler on deck. Tigers down 13-4 here in the 7th. And the 2-2 inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Comes back at 94 and throws it by him. Second strikeout for Wilson.
All 3 of the strikes here to Anthony Ghost were fastballs that he swung right through.
Kinsler is 0 for 3. Although he's hit the ball sharply a couple of times, nothing to show for it.
Yeah, he's had 3 good at-bats, really.
Only 5 Tigers hits in this ball game tonight. One ball, 1 strike. Kinsler late on the fastball. Here's the 1-1. Fly ball hit well to center. Ellsbury has room. 2 gone. The run production has been on a bit of a roller coaster this year for the Tigers. They've had 6 games of 7 or more runs. They had 5 games of 2 or fewer runs. And then some in between. Tigers had 10 hits in the ball game last night. Yet again, the 9th time this season they've done that.
Yeah, they out-hit the Yankees last night, but came up on the losing end of the stick because they hit into so many double plays last night.
Here's the 1-0 to Miggy. Ooh, how about that? 95, a wave and a miss. Yankees couple of doubles. They have 2 triples, a homer, and 9 singles in this game, totaling up 14. That missed inside. All 5 of the Tiger hits in this game singles. Victor waiting on deck. Again, here it is. Hit it. 2-2. Wilson has an impressive arm. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Gregorius on the run. He'll step on the bag for the force. That'll end the inning, and we'll go to the 8th here at Comerica Park. Chevrolet tomorrow on Fox Sports Detroit. Masahiro Tanaka and Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah, both guys really good in the strikeouts to walks department. 18 strikeouts for Tanaka against 5 walks. Anibal, 17 strikeouts against 4 base on balls. Anibal's issue this year is he's given up a lot of home runs. He's already given up 5 homers this year.
Tigers have made another pitching change as we go to the 8th inning. It'll be Jabba Chamberlain coming on.
Yeah, there was a time where we were talking about the fact that the Tigers bullpen was getting no work, but the last couple of days they've gotten a lot of work. Jabba now pitching in his 4th game this year. And 2 strikeouts for Jabba, has not walked a batter. Came on a couple of nights ago to face Jacoby Ellsbury with runners on 1st and 3rd, and he got Jacoby Ellsbury to hit into a huge double play.
So Chamberlain will go to work, and he will face Chase Headley, who starts it off. Headley looks at ball 1 to begin things here in the 8th inning. 13-4, the Yankees on top. Shift is still on. And a ball high, 2-0. Jabba ready with the 2-0 pitch, and it floats in for a strike. Headley, Petit, and then Gregorius. 7-8-9 here in the Yankees' 8th. Here's the 2-1. 2-2. A lot of changes now for the Tigers as Brad Ausmus gets some of the regulars off their feet. And here they are. Romine is in left now. Perez at second. Avila goes to first. And James McCann is catching. Sliced in the air toward left field. Romine will run over there and cut it off in the gap. One gone.
Quick turnaround tomorrow for the boys. Afternoon game. And so Brad Ausmus pretty much conceding this one tonight to the Yankees. And by giving Miggy Kinsler and Cespedes the rest of the evening off.
Yankees trying to win their second in this series. Each team with a win so far. Petit has a 3-run double. A couple of walks as well. One on Gregorio Petit.
And Jabba Chamberlain has all 4 pitches: fastball, slider, curve, change. And the reason why he has all 4, he's a former starter
and a former Yankee. That's grounded foul. 0-2.
Jabba once had a fastball that got up to 100 miles an hour when he was pitching for the Yankees.
Jabba's first year in the big leagues with the Yanks at age 21 was 2007. That's a 2-hopper hit to the second baseman Perez. 2 up, 2 down. That'll bring up Gregorius. Two-run double in this game, plus a walk. And Chamberlain missing low, 1-0. Garrett Jones has moved to the on-deck circle with Ellsbury due up next. Two balls, no strikes. Meanwhile, on Gregorius. Swing and a miss. 2-1. David Price was knocked out of this game in the 3rd inning, so the Tigers had to go deep into their pen in this one tonight unexpectedly. Nesbitt has pitched. Kroll has pitched. Albuquerque. Now Chamberlain. Right to the second baseman on a short hop. Perez with the play, and that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Java. Here comes the bottom of the 8th at Comerica.
Adam Warren started for the New York Yankees, and he'll win the game, but he will not be credited with a quality start. Only 5 2/3 innings pitched today for the right-hander. He had 3 strikeouts, gave up 4 runs, and he walked 4 in the game. That's our Bell Tire pitch-by-pitch.
So the Tigers now batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. And we have a new pitcher. It'll be David Carpenter checking in.
The 7th time that Carpenter's been in the contest this year. The ERA is shade over 4.
Rajay Davis coming on a pinch hit. First one from Carpenter at 96, sails outside, 1-0. Does anybody not throw 96?
Everybody that we have seen trot out of the Yankee bullpen the last 2 nights all have fastballs of 95 and above. Everybody we've seen.
Carpenter recently pitching with Atlanta. Look out. Up and in on Rajay. A ton of defensive changes as well for the Yankees. Just like the Tigers, they've got some of their regulars out of the game. Here they are. Garrett Jones is in left. Young moves to center. McCann moves to first, and Murphy is behind the dish. Ellsbury out of the game. Teixeira's out of the game. Here's the 2-1. Good rip there by Rajay. 2-2 at 97. Yankees gave up left-handed pitcher Manny Banuelos to get Carpenter. Another foul. Guess who hasn't left the dugout yet? David Price, who was knocked out of this game early, is still there with his teammates.
And David has all those different colored pencils. I think he might be taking care of the lineup card.
Rocket hit back up the middle, knocked down by Petit, but has no play. That'll be a hit for Rajay.
Yeah, he played that into a hit for Rajay. Yeah, there's the lineup card right there next to David Price, and every time there's 3 outs, he'll simply circle whoever makes that last out. So he's handling that for Brad Ausmus tonight.
Leadoff man on, and that'll bring up J.D. Martinez. That is the 6th Tigers hit of the night. That'll bounce in way outside. 1-0 on J.D. Bases loaded walk back in the first, driving in a run. High fly ball into right field where Beltran is waiting. First out of the inning. Let's check in with Matt Shepard now with a preview of tonight's Tigers Live.
Fellas, it's been frigid, so we'll go inside the Tigers clubhouse. We'll talk with David Price, Alex Avila. We'll talk with skipper Brad Ausmus, get their thoughts on how much the weather impacted this game, how much it impacted David Price as well. And we'll also try to sneak a conversation with one of those stinking Yankees about their ability to win this one and hand Detroit their first back-to-back loss of the season. Back to you.
Hey, Shep, do me a favor. Put a jacket on.
Come on, man. No. We got to be toughing out here. We're Michigan. I've been up in the press box for 8 innings for crying out loud.
There's the secret. Okay.
You want to show off that gear, too.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got gear like you? I don't think so.
Thanks, Shep. We look forward to that post-game here tonight. Matt Shepard keeping cool down there in the camera well.
He said it was cool on the field. It's going to be a little cool in that Tigers clubhouse tonight, too.
Yep, no doubt about that. 1 ball, 1 strike on Andrew Romine getting his first at bat. 13-4, Yankees had the lead. 1 on, 1 out. Romine checked it. He did not go, according to Will Little.
In the limited playing time that Romine has gotten this year, he's been really good. Stealing bases, scoring runs, getting clutch knocks. But not a lot of playing time for Romine these days, not with the steady team the Tigers have that they put out there every day.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and I was thinking about that too, right? As I'm looking at the Tigers lineup, and they pretty much have gone, aside from the Ghost Rajay thing at the top of the order, really 1 through 6 has been pretty much the same, 1 through 7 every day.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they're carrying 2 utility infielders basically in Hernan Perez and Andrew Romine. There's not a need for a lot of pinch hitters. More need for pinch runners than pinch hitters.
Romine strikes out swinging, 2 gone. He's going to bring up Castellanos.
Nick trying to extend that hitting streak, right?
Yep, this appears to be his last shot. Did reach on the fielder's choice, and that knocked in a run in the first, but nothing doing otherwise. Ball 1 to Castellanos. Hitting streak is at 9 straight to match his number. Longest of his young big league career. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. I can tell you this much, with the temperature right now at 37 degrees, the heaters are really going in the dugouts. But I'm not sure it's making that much of a difference.
No, you have to sneak upstairs to the warm clubhouse every now and then.
Carpenter with the 2-1. Swing and miss. 96 again from Carpenter. There they are. Can't move Iglesias off that heater.
Gino trying to warm up his hat.
Got him. Strike 3, and Castellanos is out on strikes. Tigers get a leadoff single, and 8 in the books now as we go to the 9th.
he is off to a spectacular start. He was the Tigers' #1 prospect in the minor leagues, and they traded him to Toronto for Anthony Gose, and he is proving why he was their #1 prospect in the minors.
Well, Tom Gorzelani will take over now out of the Detroit bullpen.
And Gorzelani, pitching in his 5th game, had really good numbers last year pitching out of the bullpen for the Milwaukee Brewers. As a matter of fact, his earned run average was under 1.
So Gorzelani will replace Jabba Chamberlain, who had a 1-2-3 8th inning. Garrett Jones gets his first at bat of the night, and he pops it up. Hernan Perez, 1 pitch and 1 out. That's how we begin the 9th inning tonight.
Let's take a look at the big boy, big play of the game. Mark Teixeira has homered for the 2nd time in the series, his 5th of the year. This one came back in the 7th inning. It was a 3-run shot.
One of 14 hits in this ball game tonight for the Yankees.
That was the 21st home run of the season for the Yankees, which leads the American League.
Strike 1 on Chris Young, 2 out of 5 tonight for the Yanks. Both singles, he has scored both times.
As a matter of fact, the 21 homers lead the majors.
Well, they've been called the Bronx Bombers. 0-2.
What do you make of this Yankees team? I know we only seen them 3 times, but you think they got enough to stay in the race in the East?
Not sure. I mean, they played better than I figured.
I do know this much. You're not going to get in the battle of the bullpen with these guys.
No. Good point. And they do have guys that, although some of these players have been around a while, guys like Ellsbury and A-Rod, Teixeira and McCann and Beltran, they have some age on them, but they really are they're performing pretty well here early in the season.
If they can get Brett Gardner to perform the way that he performed last year.
Just by a diving Castellanos.
Quit it, Chris Young.
That'll be his 3rd hit of the game.
He's been on base just about every time he's come up in the last 2 days.
That's going to be a 1-out double.
He just reached out and hooked that one right past the diving Castellanos, who was hugging the line. Joe Girardi going to have to try to figure out a way to get Chris Young in there tomorrow against Sanchez.
No doubt. There is no doubt. Here's Alex Rodriguez. So give the Yankees their 15th hit in the contest tonight. And a ground ball to third, scooped up there by Castellanos. A-Rod is out.
Yeah, they've been able to keep him quiet for the most part all 3 days. And he came in their hottest hitter.
The Yankees are just 1 hit shy of their season high of 16. They did that against Boston. Ryan Murphy also getting his first at bat. Ball 1. Gorzelani is the 6th reliever used tonight by the Tigers.
Yeah, the only one not used, Joakim Soria.
Beg your pardon, the 5th, the 6th overall. Yeah, this is not a game for Soria. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And we told you that Blaine Hardy wasn't available.
Swing and a miss.
Good breaking ball there thrown by Gorzelani. Really good arm speed at just 77 miles an hour.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Murphy. Bounce again, smothered behind the plate by McCann. Young at second base with a double. He's standing there with 2 outs. Yankees seemingly put this one away early, scoring 6 in the first, but the Tigers answered with 4. That would be as close as they would get, though. Bouncing ball to short. And Iglesias will throw him out. Nothing comes to the double. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Well, it's been one of those nights here at the ballpark. Yankees jumped out to a 6-0 lead. They have held down all night long. They lead 13-4 as we go to the Tigers' part of the 9th inning. Jason Shreve will come on now for the Yanks.
And last season in the minors, pitched in 46 games and logging 64 innings, had a really good earned run average at 2.67. Been in 2 games this year with the Yankees.
So Shreve is looking for the final 3 outs of this one. And Alex Avila will begin things for the Tigers.
He came over in a deal with David Carpenter from the Atlanta Braves.
Shreve is from Las Vegas, Nevada. Here's Avila stepping in. And a ball outside, 1-0. Avila in this ball game, an RBI single and 3 at-bats. And a slow roller hit towards second into short right field. Petit, a long throw to get it.
Chevrolet brings you the high-strength steel of the game, and I guess you could say that the Yankees have stolen some runs for the Tigers in this 3-game series. The Tigers have hit into 9 double plays every time they've had some people on base. The Yankees pitchers have been able to throw a ground ball, and the result has been a twin killing.
It has certainly been the Yankees pitcher's best friend in this series. Here's Iglesias. Ball 1 to Jose. Single walk pop-up. Average at 404 now for Iglesias. That's in there, a strike. 1-1 the count. Anthony Gose waiting on deck. By the way, a tip of the cap to the 27,389 in attendance here tonight. Many of them have decided to head home, but a few hardy souls are still sticking around to the final out.
Yeah, there were snow flurries when this one got underway at 7 o'clock.
Line foul. 2-2 on Iglesias. Yankees trying to run their record over 500 to 8-7. Definitely a blanket kind of night. Swing and a miss. Tied him up, and Iglesias is out of there. 2 gone. Fans, don't forget to follow the Tigers all season long in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replays, and a whole lot more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. 2 up, 2 down. Here is Anthony Gose. No 1-1 on Gose. Walk and a run scored tonight for Anthony, but not much else going on. He has fanned a couple of times, hit into a double play as well. One ball, 1 strike. Day game tomorrow. Yankees and Tigers wrap it up. David Price knocked out early in this one tonight as the Yankees seized command in the very first inning.
And Tigers haven't lost a series all season, in jeopardy of doing that tomorrow.
Here's the 1-2. And he got it. Strike 3. And that puts a bow on this one here tonight. Your final score at Comerica Park, the Yankees 13 and the Tigers 4. On a chilly evening here in the Motor City. We'll be back with more from Comerica